it's getting hard. Boom, that's all you need to know. And good evening, and what one are we on? Week 7. This is week 7, end of week 6 vlog. I have no idea. I didn't actually think it was going to be possible to lose count of weeks during a prep, but apparently it is, because I just can't remember. We're a little bit day late in doing this, which is why I'm absolutely knackered this evening, but that's not just because it's been a long day. I think it's the heat is just killing me today. Yesterday, when I would normally have done the vlog update, James was out all day with his pals on a sort of longboarding session, and they came back and then they had a barbecue here later on tonight. You can still see those remnants up there, which I had to sort of do all the cooking for, which was great fun when you can't eat any of it and you've got crisps, you've got drink, and you've got nice food, and you're thinking, because right about now the diet is really beginning to hit a little bit. You know, I'm beginning to feel quite hungry. It's not too bad on a training day, there's a bit more food in there, but on rest days like a Sunday, it's like, I just want food. Last week is, you know, training wise and diet wise was a good week. I had a really good drop. I had a sort of 2.2 pound drop, so the weight is beginning to speed up now and it's really beginning to come off. Although that kind of skewed the fat readings a little bit, so it still technically got me in the 17%, so I was a little bit miffed about that, but my coach did say sometimes when you have a big drop like that, it can just skew the fat readings, so I'm going to sort of ignore that, and then hopefully this week when it does fats on Thursday, we'll probably get like a bit of a better update, kind of doing exactly what everybody said would sort of happen. You know, the first few weeks, you know, nice steady drops, and then it just all of a sudden sort of speeds up a little bit. How is that affecting the training? I thought I'd touch base on that a little bit. Training is still going well, I'm still training hard. Because food's down a little bit, it is getting a little bit difficult to sort of keep up with the same sort of weights on certain exercises. Some exercises the food doesn't affect me as much as others. It definitely affects me on the upper body, and the strength is just beginning to sort of go down a little bit now. I mean, for example, like on a chest press, on an incline chest press, I was easily doing sort of 60 kilos for 3 sets. Right now I've had to drop that down to about sort of 55 kilos. Bearing in mind my body weight at the moment is about 58 kilos, so it's still pretty decent, but it just goes to show that, you know, I can't quite hit that sort of 60 kilos at the moment. It's a little bit low. What you're going for at this stage in many ways is volume. You know, you are going to lose a bit of strength, you are going to lose energy, so you can't expect to still get out. You're not going to hit PBs, you know, so really what you want to do is just be prepared to drop the weight a little bit and go more for volume, so increase your reppage. So, you know, whereas I might have been going between sort of 8 and 12 reps, you know, I'm probably looking to do maybe sort of 15 to 20 reps, you know, just drop that volume right down. On some exercises like glute bridges, for instance, no, they're still in a kind of sort of grow mentality, really. I don't know why. My bum is the one thing that just doesn't seem to lose the energy. It's the one thing that can just still power through no matter how little you give it. I mean, last year I still managed to make a few PBs right up until the last day before we went on holiday, actually, when I was cutting. I'm quite a sort of glutes dominant person, so I suppose they're just naturally quite strong. But I actually hit a PB on the glute bridges actually of 140 kilos, which I didn't think I was going to get this year. And I'd seen a couple of other sort of professional bikini lifters lifting that, and I was like thinking, and I was lifting about 120 and feeling quite maxed out and thinking, oh, where am I going to get that extra 20 kilos from? But strangely enough, last week I actually got 8 reps out, and I was like, oh, so there's more in there. The main thing that I did last week in progress was on Friday. I took the day off and I actually went down to London to see Georgia Rose, who's the lady, well, she's actually called Georgia Hussein actually, but she runs a company called Georgia Rose Bikini. She actually does makeup as well. I didn't know that until the day, and she's actually pretty competitive, so I think I may consider her for like makeup for some of the other shows that I might be doing if she's there. So it was good to do that. I went down and saw all the different things, all the connectors, the different materials, because I really wasn't sure exactly what colour I wanted, so until I'd actually seen them up close it was difficult for me to decide. So I think it was worth, even though it was a long way to go for essentially a half an hour meeting, it was worth doing because I got to see everything and really make those decisions and talk to her about certain things as well, and you know and for her to see me and actually say, you know, this cut's going to be better on you and this is going to suit more. And then obviously she took my measurements as well, because one of the measurements that I took and emailed, I totally ballsed up and did that wrong, and that's like the gusset measurement, and I thought it was kind of like from the front up, and it was actually kind of you take the measurement sort of all the way round, so sort of from your back there, go right through underneath and up there. I totally ballsed that one up. I didn't realise that's how you were meant to take that measurement, so probably a good job I went down, otherwise that could have been extremely embarrassing. So I'm quite excited about that. I came away feeling quite pleased. I know what the colours are. I saw all the crystals, saw the little connectors, and I've sort of decided and all that. So she's banging away with that now. That'll be made, and I'll update her with my final measurements in about sort of 3 weeks or so. She gets it to you fairly soon, so that you can actually do a little bit of posing practice in it. And then obviously as well, if you need to adjust anything, you've got time to send it back and get it adjusted if needs be. But you know, considering how much these things cost, you know, you want these things to fit right. You know, I don't know how girls manage to do different bikinis for different shows. You know, it costs an arm and a leg. I've worked out that I'm probably going to have to do about 15 to 30 shows to make this suit worth the money. Forget placings, I just want to get my money's worth out of that suit. Normal week, fairly normal week. I found the most biggest cucumber from Sainsbury's for 70 pence you could find, so I'm chuffed to bits with that. I'm actually off up to ULTRAFLEX this Saturday. This Saturday I actually start my posing practice. I've actually got my lesson this Saturday with Becky Smith, and then I'll actually train at ULTRAFLEX as well. And that's a massive like warehouse gym. So I'll try my best to get some footage of that one and even some training. There'll definitely be a bit posing practice footage because they tend to like to film that back anyway. And I think from now on till the end, obviously posing weekly is going to be something that I'm going to need to do. I will probably try to go to some other posing classes as well. PCA and Ultimate Physiques, they do tend to offer posing days at some of the big gyms around the country that are sort of free to go to if you're a member and such. So it's, you know, keep your eyes peeled for that. And then that's really about it. This was a lot longer than I intended it to be. I was knackered and I just thought, I'm just going to say it's getting hard. Boom. That's all you need to know. I'm going to use the excuse of prep brain, and even though that hasn't really set in yet, but I'm going to use that excuse. I'm just tired. And like I say, tiredness and fatigue is beginning to set in a little bit. It's got a long way to go, and it's going to get a lot worse, and I'm trying to ignore it, so I'm not trying to focus on it too much. But yeah, we'd start week 7 including this one. Losing frigging count. I just know that when I get to August, panic. Got what, 2 weeks of July left, so we're all right. So that's it. Like I say, next week should be a little bit more exciting. I would like to put in more training stuff, but it's just difficult because obviously I train in the morning, I have all my work stuff, I just don't really have time or room in my bag to take any more stuff with me to sort of film in the morning when I would do my sort of standard workouts. The one on Saturday is kind of a total body one, and the gym's quiet, and so that's the only day I really would get to film anything. But I will try. But like I say, this Saturday I'm up at ULTRAFLEX, so I'll definitely take my phone and I'll take the tripod with me. I will try and put a little bit more training bits in, but if I'm honest, there's nothing going to be really fantastic. I'm not going to be breaking any boundaries at the moment. Those sort of videos are probably better for when I'm in off season and I'm revved up and going for it. At the moment, it's dying on your ass. It's like a swan song. Anyway, that's it. We're done. I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye. Jesus, some seriously tired, warbled,
finally
rubbish on that one.
You finished.
Yeah, you got a great job to edit that one.
14 and a half minutes. All right. Well, as always, you need to shut up now, because that's a wrap.